Hello everyone. Hi, how are you? How's everybody doing? Oh, you know what I forgot to do? How's everybody doing? I forgot to upload the new image. Have to do that afterwards. So what's up? Today is the 41-year anniversary of the release of E.T., my favorite movie. So I thought I would do a live stream. Nothing special, just a live stream. All right. Okay, well, there I was, 6 years old, 1982. It was a hot summer day. And my parents decided to get a babysitter for my newly born brother, Brian, while we went out and enjoyed a movie. My mom suggested a movie because what she really wanted to do was be in air conditioning. So we decided to see E.T. I remember going into the theater. I remember where we sat. We sat up near the front of the left-hand side. Not right at the front, but you know, a few rows behind. Or with my younger brother. I got two younger brothers. The older one, Pat, and two kids that we babysat that lived down the street. And E.T. came on, and I was in awe from the beginning because I identified with Elliot. I liked the things that he was doing, the Star Wars, the BMX bike. It was around Halloween time during the filming, during the setting of E.T. And I remember when I first saw E.T., I think we froze. You know what? I can't have a single live here that's not have something go wrong. Why is that? Well, hold on here. Hold on. Boom. Here's my backup camera. But what is going on with the main camera? That's not cool. Whatever the case is. Oh, here we're back. Okay. Now that it interrupted me. If you haven't seen E.T., I suggest go watching it. It is my all-time favorite movie. It gave me great memories. So, I remember first seeing E.T., you know, coming out of the little shed a little bit. And when Elliot sees E.T. through the corn, that was a scary part for a 6-year-old kid. That's probably scary enough to make a little kid not want to watch the rest of the movie. But we proceeded to watch the movie, and you proceed to fall in love with E.T. and with the movie altogether. It is it's one of those movies that just, you know, it made me cry, and I was like, okay, well, we went and saw it again 2 weeks later in the theater back in 1982, and I told myself I'm not going to cry this time because I already know what's going to happen. But the movie was just too powerful, and I cried again. My tears came down. And then, many years later, 2019, I got to go see E.T. in the movie theater again here in Syracuse, and the Syracuse Symphony did the live music for the movie, which was amazing. So I'm like, oh, I wonder if it's really gonna, like, you know, get the nostalgia going when we get to that one scene near the end of the movie. Nope. As soon as it started, I felt the goosebumps right there and then. As soon as the credits started rolling, where it said D. Wallace, Peter Coyote, and then the symphony started playing, and there it was, like, the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. I was like, wow. You can actually see that. I actually have that as a story one of those featured stories on my Instagram account. I got a little bit of video in there, so you can see my exact moment when that happened. If you guys want to go back and see that, if you're on Instagram. But nonetheless, E.T. Definitely had a profound effect on me as a kid, and it brings me back to that nostalgia. Like, it's just so powerful for me. It brings me back to that really, really great time. And I often say that it gives me just a bunch of different emotions, because it makes me very happy, but also very sad all at the same time. Happy that I can remember, because I guess I'm cursed with like a really good memory. Like, I remember everything, so I go right back to that time, and it doesn't just remind me of being in the theater. It reminds me of everything going on in my life at that point in time. And the sad part is that I could never go back to that time. It's gone forever. The world has forever changed. It's different. I'm different. The people around me were different. Times have changed. But I got it all up here. So I try. Some people might think like I watch E.T. all the time. I don't. Because of that nostalgia, because of what that can do for me, I try not to watch it too often. So I feel like if I do, it'll start to become so commonplace that I mean, I can recite the whole movie in my mind, but I don't want to watch it too often, because that might ruin the effects that it has on me. I might become too just like associated with like today, modern day, and I don't want that. I want to be able to. I want that movie to be able to take me back to when I was a little kid. So I try not to watch it too often. Maybe once every few years is fine for me. I'm sure you guys probably have movies that do that for you. Maybe it's not E.T., maybe it is E.T. There's other movies that do that for me, but E.T. is my favorite, my absolute favorite. But I've got other ones that I really, really like Goonies and Stand By Me, and then we have, The Lost Boys and The Monster Squad. There's so many movies that really take me back, but E.T. is the one for me that brings me back to like that pure, really good, warm feeling of nostalgia. I got my E.T. movie thing over here. I've met Dee Wallace, and she signed a picture for me, which you can see in my Instagram post. I met C. Thomas Howell, and that's all. Those are the only ones I've met from the movie E.T. I would like to meet more people from E.T. That'd be cool. The Sound of Music, The Point. Hi, Mike. So, yeah. I've got a bunch of photos. I was posting on this. I made a video. Most of you that watched the show probably already knew I did this, but I had a friend of mine that I met actually while I was doing a volunteer. I was working at. I came in. My friend Joel, who owns Strong Hearts Cafe, vegan restaurant here in Syracuse, New York, and now also Buffalo, New York. He had me and John and this guy named Josh come in one night years ago to help chop up potatoes, lots and lots of potatoes for a charity event. So we came in after closing hours one night and we chopped up. There's a whole video on it if you guys ever want to go back and see that video. But I met this guy named Josh, and he was he just started asking me, different questions, like, because I've never met him before. Really nice guy. Started asking me some questions like, oh, hey Chris, like, do you do you have a favorite movie? And my answer, I didn't know this at the time, but my answer like pretty much stuck with him. I said, "Oh yeah, like E.T." And I basically just said what I said to you guys. Like, but it's more than a movie to me. It's pure nostalgia. It brings me back to that time. And Josh is like the same age. He's like 1 year younger than me. And so we grew up around the same time, around the same place, and we had the same hobbies. But we never knew each other until we were adults. And he asked me about that movie, and we didn't really say too much. I didn't really say too much more, and he didn't say too much more. We just kind of like chopped the potatoes, and that was it. And I saw him a few other times, and then he asked me one time. He said, "Hey Chris, I want to do a podcast with you, and I want to have you on my show talking about ET." And I was like, "Okay, cool." He goes, "I really liked your response. I really liked what you told me." Most people just say, "Oh, my favorite movie is this," but you just went on about how it made you feel as a kid, and all these things that we can both relate to. So I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure." So I found a time, and like we kept putting it off, and then finally I'm like, "Josh, I'll come over and I'll do the podcast with you." So we went over to his friend's house that had the sound equipment and everything. We went in there and we proceeded to talk about E.T. and the 80s and growing up as kids in the 80s and the things that were going on in our lives. And we had a really long conversation. It's about 2 hours long. And then when I left, I said, hey, Josh, let me know when you post that, and I'll share it on my platform. And he said, "You know what, Chris, I really don't have a podcast, but I really wanted to get this interview with you, and I wasn't sure if you would do it otherwise, so I just want to give it to you and have you post it." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And he gave me the file, the sound, and then over the next year, took another visit out to California, and I got some videos, I got some pictures. I was able to see, a few years back, I saw I did a live stream like this, sitting in the little park that they filmed E.T. in with that little caterpillar playground equipment. And so I sat there and I got some pictures there, and I wanted to check out some more places, but I didn't get that done on that trip. But the last time I went, not the last time, because the last time I went out there was just a couple months ago with Craig, but the time before that, when I went out there, I got to visit the ET house where Elliot lives. And so I got a picture of myself right in front of the house, and then I got some video footage, where they filmed ET and stuff like that. And I proceeded to upload that 2-hour podcast with a bunch of different things that I talk about. Like, I've got a lot. It took me forever to make this. And unfortunately, it is one of my least viewed videos. Nobody really wanted to watch that or spend 2 hours watching that. I get it. Maybe, E.T. is not your favorite movie. But I go on and I show, I tell the story about, as I'm growing up, and I show pictures of me and my brother, my family, and my friends as I'm growing up, and I'm putting these pictures in this audio because I'm a very visual person. I want people to be able to. You could just listen to it, but you could also sit there and watch this. And then Josh told me a couple stories of his own, and I said, "Josh, do you have any pictures you can send me over?" Of any of the things we talked about, of what you look like when you're a little kid. So he sent me a bunch of pictures, and I did my best to put all of this together in a story, as well as the video footage from E.T. and the video footage that I filmed when I was out there visiting California at the E.T. locations. And I put this whole thing together. So if you guys want to see that, it is on the main channel, The Vegan Zombie. It's E.T. I think it's labeled E.T. locations and how E.T. affected me. So you can hear the whole story in detail if this is something. If you like a good nostalgic story, if you were also grew up as a kid in the 80s, you might want to check this out. We talk about a lot of things growing up. It's not just E.T., but we do spend a lot of time talking about E.T. and breaking that down. So I just wanted to go. Oh, and I also reached out to Amblin Pictures. Is it Amblin Pictures? It's Steven Spielberg's company that they have ET on, and I follow them on Instagram. I haven't seen them post in a while, but at the time, I was posting stuff, and they said that if I wanted, whoever was in charge of it, if I wanted some quality pictures, they would send me over the pictures. So they did. They sent me a file of like high res, high def pictures from behind the scenes of ET. So I'll just go ahead and share some of those right now. We can go through some of those. Boom, we got that little setup that I got ready for this specific. And let's see. If you have not seen ET and you don't want any spoilers, you might not want to watch this. But if it's already, it's been 41 years. So if you've already seen ET, then let's get on with it. Because I just want to go through some of these and see what we got here. This is Spielberg and Drew. And I'm guessing this is probably 1981. Drew Barrymore is 1 year older than I am. So that's how young I was when this movie came out. So even though I identified with Elliot was a little bit older than me. Thank you, Linda. Is that the movie? Is that the video? Yep, that's it. So that was 2 years ago that I uploaded that. So that was like the 39-year anniversary of ET. What's going on here? Okay. Is there an echo? Is there an echo? If there's an echo, I'm sorry. Let's see what I can do about that. Does anybody else? There should not be an echo. I'm looking at... Hold on. Echo. Does anybody else hear an echo? Okay, that's off. These are all off. Maybe this one? Is there no echo now? Did it go away? You know what? When I pressed, when I looked at the other video, it may have started playing. That might have been it because I have the desktop audio on. Okay, good. All right, great. Then we'll keep going. What I wouldn't do to be able to go back in time and watch this movie be made, or it probably would have changed some things for me. But so maybe I wouldn't have done that. But anyway. I had something on the tip of my tongue that I was about to say. Oh, yeah. Well, let's go through it. No, I'll probably forget if I don't. The hard hats. Elliot, look over there. So, I have done a little bit of research on ET, and I believe the last scene, which I think is this scene right here. When E.T. is leaving and Elliot has to give a performance, Elliot actually nails it on the first shot. They use the first shot and he nails it. And there's a famous video that I'm sure some of you guys have probably already seen it, but they looked through, like, I think it was something like over 1,300 people to play the role of Elliot, and they weren't really confident on any of them, and they were like, well, we got this one other kid that was in an Old Spice commercial. I think it was Old Spice commercial, and he's from, I think it was Houston. So I think it was somewhere around there, and we'll fly him in and do an interview with him, and then then we're gonna have to go through the rest, and if he doesn't work out. So they flew in Henry Thomas, and there's the video of them. They couldn't really tell him exactly what the movie was about, but they said, just pretend you have a friend. He's like an alien, but he's your best friend. He's like your dog. He's like your best friend. And there's some bad guys that are coming, and they want to take him. They want to take him. So you got to convince us that you don't want them to take him. And he makes this performance And he nails it right there. And then they said, you got the job. So you could look up Henry Thomas performance for E.T. and after this, and you could see that video. It's pretty cool. The other thing that they did that you don't normally do for movies, which I didn't do for my movie either, is they actually shot this movie in chronological order, which you normally don't do that because of it's usually more practical to do it out of order, just because certain scenes, like you might have several scenes in this one location and then a different location. So you want to get like maybe the first scene, the third scene, and the very last scene is all at the same place, but the rest of the scenes aren't. So you would, to make things financially feasible and all that stuff, you would want to film all those at one time, within however many days it takes you to do that, and then go to the next place, do it over there, and then put it all together. That's how I did my movie. We did that in different locations, like the very beginning scene and then later on scene, we all did it at the same location. And now I'm going through and I'm organizing it like a puzzle. I'm taking different ones out. But in this movie, he did it all in chronological order, and the reason for that was for the kids. He had young kids playing the parts of the main characters in this movie, and it's just harder for them to conceptualize what the movie is and how they got to be acting in that certain scene. So he made it easy on them and just did it in chronological order. Here you guys are, you meet E.T., you fall in love with E.T., now people are trying to take him away from you. Now you got to bond with E.T., rather than at the beginning, like, you got to convince us not to take E.T. It's like, okay, I'll do my best. But now they've already fallen in love with E.T., and actually Drew Barrymore thought E.T. was real. Like the mechanical of E.T. on set, they would make it, whenever she'd go to see E.T., they'd, animate it. So she thought it was a real alien. She thought it was real. She was 6 when they filmed it. Big Trouble Little China. Okay, let's see. There's Dos Rios Drive. Drew, Steven still had dark hair. That's right there. That's probably my favorite scene. That's one of my favorites. That I posted that today on my Instagram. That'll make you cry. A244. A244. A44. I love this is black and white, but I love the atmosphere here of the shed scene when he throws the baseball into the shed. E.T. I wish I had one of those badges right there. Somebody get me one of those badges. They're probably a lot of money. They probably still have them somewhere on, somebody still has one laying around, sell it for a few $1,000s on eBay or whatever. Is eBay still a thing? And the other thing is, I love the original E.T. Now, of course, they did what George Lucas did, and they went back and they CGI'd a lot of it, and a lot of it is different after they did the CGI and everything, and they animated E.T. more. I do not want to see any of that. I want to see the original E.T. the way I saw it. I think it was perfect. I think they did a great job. There was one thing that Steven Spielberg regretted. I don't know if anybody read this or anything, because it's, I've seen the article several times over the past few years, but there's a scene near the end where the boys are all on their bike like this, and they're trying to get away from the feds. And, this is back in the 80s, so I didn't think anything of it. And, this was a product of its time. I'm sure Steven Spielberg didn't think anything of it when we did it, but when he did it. And I never thought anything of it until he mentioned it a few years later. And that was the FBI, the feds, whatever they were, they all had guns in their hands as the boys were on their bicycles, and E.T. made them all fly over them. And Steven Spielberg regretted that decision because he did not want, feds to be pulling guns out on kids. but it was what it was. So he went in and he CGI'd all of those guns out of their hands and turned them into, big walkie-talkies. So if you see the walkie-talkie version, that's the edited version. I'd much rather watch the original version. And then I think he said after that he regretted that he edited them out because it was a product of its time, and just leave it how it was. Just leave the movie how it was. So you can still find the original. I actually have the original over here somewhere. The original VHS tape, which didn't come out until I think 87 or 88, just because they didn't have E.T. on VHS back in 1982. It wasn't a thing. I remember getting our first VCR somewhere in the mid 80s. And I was like, oh my God, we can record TV shows? MacGyver? So, yes, that was another thing. They celebrated Halloween there on set, and Spielberg even dressed up too. That's an end scene. There's Drew ready to go to work. There's Robert McNaughton and Drew Barrymore. Robert is Mike, the older brother. I love the lighting here. This is all artificial, but it's like it just draws me in, and like Star Wars does it for me too. I remember getting we went to a family friend's Christmas party. I think I was bad, so I got in there later, and I was little, so I don't know what I did that was bad, but I probably was, I don't know, made a tantrum or something. But I got there, and I I remember getting Luke Skywalker action figure from Hoth, and it was the frozen one. So there's the iconic E.T. I got my E.T. shirt on. So all these years later, I officially got E.T. shirt. I had an E.T. shirt when I was a little kid, and there is a picture of me right around that time, 6 years old, with my E.T. shirt on. If we can find it, I'll show you. But I got this at Universal Theaters a couple years ago when I went there with Lisa from Happiest Vegan on Earth. We couldn't get into Disney, so we went to Universal, and of course I bought the E.T. shirt. Beginning of E.T., more E.T., Elliot. Oh, and my uncle said to me, because E.T. was like a big thing in our family. We all loved E.T. And my uncle, he said to me, "Hey Chris, E.T.'s your favorite movie?" I'm like, "Yeah, Uncle Jim." And he said, "Well, what's the boy's name?" I'm like, "Elliot?" He's like, "Yeah, Elliot." "What's the first letter of Elliot's name?" I'm like, "E." He goes, "What's the last letter of Elliot's name?" I'm like, "T. E.T. And he's like, "Yeah." And then he walked away. And I just thought, I'm still thinking about it today. Anyway. Ouch. I'll be right here. The music is amazing. Yes, the music by John Williams will put the hair on my neck. It'll make it stand up. I'll get goosebumps. E.T. got a little bit sick. Sad part. I love this scene too. The way that Spielberg did the dining room scene. That is a very iconic scene, and it's very nostalgic to me. It I love that scene. That's inspired me. Like they nailed the same scene almost in Super 8. I didn't really care for the rest of the movie, but in Super 8 you will see a dining room scene that looks very similar to this, and they also kind of captured it more in like a downstairs scene in Stranger Things. So reasons for me to love those shows as well. But this right here, this is, this brings me back to being, a kid. Even though this is based on, a boy that his parents are split up. His dad doesn't live with him, and he's living with a single mom and his brother and sister. And my parents are still together today, so I didn't experience that, but this still, it just gave me intense nostalgia. They played Dungeons and Dragons there, and I played Dungeons and Dragons. And anyway, there he is in the school scene, and behind him is Erica Eleniak. There they are. Don't worry, Mom. We'll check it out. They'll go out and try to find the coyote in the shed. They don't find that. There's Dee Wallace. And there's Mike. When things start to get serious, the big brother needs to go out there and find E.T. on the BMX. There's Peter Coyote, Dee Wallace, and Steven Spielberg. There's a documentary called Spielberg that's really good, and it tells a lot about E.T., but a lot about other things too. And apparently, if I can remember correctly, Peter Coyote he interviewed for, he auditioned for a movie. I don't remember what movie. What movie did he audition for? It might have been, was it American Graffiti, or I don't know. He auditioned for another movie, and somehow, anyway, when he was leaving, he tripped and knocked over the lights, and that made like they remembered him for knocking over the lights, and they didn't hire him. But when they were thinking of a person for E.T. for the role that they needed for this, they're like, what about the guy that tripped over the light? And they found him, and they hired him for this part. Unfortunately, that wasn't a real. See, that was a set. I always thought that was like really looking over the city. Which, that might have been just a remake of it. I mean, they might have also had, the city as well, but I actually went up to those locations. The room was really cool. Jerry Lewis. They cut that scene out. He wanted a nude scene with Dee Wallace, and they didn't do it. So I'm glad they didn't because E.T. Here's everybody that worked on the crew of E.T. I'm sure there's more people, but here's a nice picture of everybody. And they had no idea that history would be made, and it would be one of the most iconic movies ever made. Look at, he's wearing the Raiders of the Lost Ark shirt. Oh, and that's another scene that was cut out. They actually used Harrison Ford was the principal. So when Elliot got in trouble, there's a scene where he goes to the principal's office, and the principal is Harrison Ford. You never see his face, but you see his feet up on the desk, and you hear his voice, his iconic voice. Everybody knows at the time, everybody that knew Star Wars or Indiana Jones knew who he was, and they actually cut the scene out. And then Neil Diamond made that song, Turn On Your Heart Light, Gonna Take a Ride Across the Sky. And there it is right there. There's Harrison Ford, and E.T. made him levitate. But I think that was too much, that they thought that was too much. And I agree. I like how they did it. The one in the back is C. Thomas Howell. I got to meet him at one of the Scaricons here. He plays Ponyboy from The Outsiders. He also has a really good role in Criminal Minds. He's a serial killer there. Fox Mulder. How'd that get in there? That was a Halloween. He dressed up with them. There he is, Harrison Ford. Zero charisma, Sin Supremus. There I am. There's C. Thomas Howell. I met him at the Scaricon. Pony Boy Curtis, Stay Gold Pony. Oh, the Mac and Me. That's... No, don't watch Mac and Me. That was part of the thing that I put in. Oh, there's Ronnie Strickland from X-Files. These are just pictures that I ended up putting in the video that I made. So we are... And that's it. We're done with those pictures. Let me see. If I have anything else here. I saved a bunch. There I am in front of the E.T. house. That's how it looks now. Those trees weren't there when Mike was driving down the driveway. But when E.T. asked Elliot to come with him, your heart broke because it just knew how much. Yeah, that's, you know, if you don't get sad on that part, you're not paying attention. That's very, very sad part of the movie. Let's see here if I can find any other pictures to show. These are mainly pictures of me when I was little. I used that for, my first day at kindergarten. E.T. clips. Well, this was our dining room table when I grew up. Mom, Dad, me, Pat, and Brian. So that was straight up 80s. It's probably 1985, it looks like, maybe. Probably 1985. And I'm trying to find the picture of me wearing the E.T. shirt when I was 6. There's me and Dee. I got a video of Dee, and there she is. I was so shy to talk to her. I didn't know what to say, and I'm never like that. She was really nice, and I got a little video of it. Let's see what else do we have here. It's got to be here somewhere. Well, I know I have it on my phone. Oh, and here's my dad, me, and my uncle. My dad came home one day and bought a E.T. mask that we had all the way up until a couple years ago. He tells me he threw it away. I'm like, what? You threw it? He said it was all falling apart. I'm like, Dad, that was an original E.T. mask. You should have given it to me. And if you can't see what this says because it's a little faded, this says home. And we had our rotary phones. We had 3 of them right here. This is at my grandma's house. And we all picked up the rotary phones. This is my uncle, by the way, that said E.T. Elliot's name starts with an E and ends with a T. And these are our phones, and we're phoning home. That's me with the E.T. mask. Let's see what else we have here. I think we have another family picture. Family picture around Christmas time. You see E.T. on the doll's head. That was the E.T. mask. Oh, no. We'll go back to that one. Oh, I found it. Here it is. This is me at about 6 years old. If you look, I'm wearing my ET. This is probably somebody's birthday party. I think I'm eating ice cream. And I'm wearing an ET shirt. This is the only known photo I think I have of me wearing an ET shirt. So obviously it had to be before. It looks like it was chilly too because I'm wearing it looks like a Syracuse orange zip up, kind of like not really a hoodie, but maybe a windbreaker kind of thing. And I think it's somebody's birthday. And ET came out in June, so, and I still don't look like I'm that old. So this is probably the end of the year of 1982. Maybe it was my brother's birthday is in November. Maybe it's his birthday, or maybe it's my mom's birthday. Anyway, that's me wearing my ET shirt. And this is my, wait, let's see which one. This is my friend Josh, who interviewed me for the podcast. So there's him. A man of many faces. And I guess that's it. I don't see anything else. There's me and D. When I met D. D Wallace, the mom. She's in so many movies. She's in Cujo. She's in Halloween. She's in Lords of Salem. She's just everywhere. The Howling. Anyway, what else do I have here? Okay, so that's probably it for. I'm paused again. At least you guys can see me though. Let's go back over here for a second as I try to fix my stupid camera again. I don't know if that'll work or not. Nope. Hold on. Boom, boom. There we go. We're moving. Video is made to move. It's meant to move. Otherwise, we would just have pictures and... Okay, so I hope you guys like my little slideshow there. If you guys want to see more and hear more, you can watch that video that Linda posted up there. And it's pinned. Yeah, you know, when I talk to people and I tell them that E.T. is my favorite movie, they either say one of two things. They say either they agree with me or they say I can't watch E.T. I was like really afraid of it when I was a kid. Like when I saw E.T., like E.T. just scared me. And you know, I get that, but for the people that were scared of E.T., I think I would suggest trying to watch it again because it's a beautiful movie. It's the best movie that I've ever seen. And it's my all-time favorite movie. I've got a lot of favorite movies. There's a lot of good movies out there. But E.T. for me, just because of everything, all the feelings it gives me, it's my all-time favorite movie. And I don't know if you saw E.T. today for the first time ever, I don't think it would have the same effect. It might have a similar effect, but for me, it reminds me of the time. And the time is gone. It's not here anymore. So like it's a product of its time for me. It brings me right back to that time. And that's why I love it. If I just saw it now, I'd be like, that's a good movie. But it didn't bring me back to all of those memories that I just never want to lose. So, you know, and if somebody would see it now, there'd be a lot of things that they would miss or not understand or understand but not really understand. Like, just like I know I could probably never understand certain movies that were made before my time. You know, like when Elliot's doing these certain things And we're talking about a time that was before the internet, before cell phones, before, you know, everything that we have today. You know, this was pre those times. It's going to bring you back to a different time if you lived those times, if you were around for those times. At least in my opinion. I have a couple stuffed ET dolls, and some of you guys have even like sent me some stuff. I've got a nice record of ET. One of my favorite things is the picture I have that D. Wallace signed for me. Oh, the government characters. Yeah, they were scary to me too. Other movies that I remember watching that were like very adventurous for me that I really loved, that actually had Henry Thomas in it, was Cloak and Dagger. Do you guys remember Cloak and Dagger? Davy Osborne. I think it was David G. Osborne. It was written on the baseball. Davy Osborne. Oh yeah, my friend's sister is very talented at creating very unique cakes. She made me an ET cake for my birthday one year. And in fact, if you go to my Instagram account here on the Vegan Zombie and you go to the main page, like this, main page, and then this one up here is the boom. What do I all of a sudden not have any service down here? What's going on? ET cake. Let's see. Let's get that in front there. There's my ET cake. I didn't want to cut it, so like I didn't cut it for a few days, and then finally I'm like I gotta cut into it. But anyway, ET cake. Really, really good cake. And there I am watching ET for the first time in like 40 years almost. And this is the Syracuse Symphony playing the symphony music. And there, right there, that did it for me just hearing this. Got to take that out of there before my video gets taken down. No, I can't. It won't get taken down, right? Because we are frozen again, but also because I believe that this channel is unable to be monetized, so I can't. What is going on? Come on, please stop. I can literally not touch. Boom. Let's see. Activate. This is I'm taking this camera back, even though I bought it like. Let's go back over here. Back over here. Let's see. What are we doing here? Yeah, that's great. Here we go. Activate. Work. Oh my God. This is annoying. Don't ever get a Sony A7 III. They're great cameras unless you want to stream. I know. I can see it on my end. I know exactly how it looks. I'm going to try not to touch anything. If I just sit here still, stop making me all different kinds of colors. Oh my God. Well, at least you guys can still hear me. Do you know, when it comes to video, movies at least, the audio is actually more important than the video. If there was a really crappy video, but the audio was amazing, you guys would be more apt to stay. But if it was the other way around, you guys would be like, I can't deal with the sound. It's so bad. Okay, here we go. Still not working. I don't know what it is. It's not the cord because I bought a new cord and it's doing the same thing with the same cord. But this happens every single time I stream, and it's like, I don't know. If I was a millionaire, I'd just buy another camera. But it's not working. I mean, I could just pull up the webcam because that'll work. But webcam. There we are. At least you can see me now. Okay. There I am. Oh, man. Yeah, Poltergeist came out at the same time E.T. came out a week before. And there's a picture of all of them together because Steven Spielberg was an executive producer on Poltergeist with Tobe Hooper. So he helped out on that as well. And Poltergeist is the other movie that has that same kind of like atmosphere for the kitchen scene, but in its own way, because I think it had a lot of influence there from Spielberg. Yeah, I don't know why this is doing this. It's really just annoying. Like, I really need that. It looks cool. My computer looks cool though, doesn't it? Like it breathes colors. It's kind of like E.T.'s heart. Turn on your heart light. Green, silver, colors shining. Well, I did kind of just smack it, but let's see. Do you think it worked? Which one was it even? Is it this one? Still doesn't work. Smack, smack, smack. Come on. Oh, it was working. And no, it's not. I feel like am I in focus? I feel like I'm not in focus. Oh, it is working now. There we are. Anyway, I don't really know what else to say with this big blunder going on. So if you guys have any questions for me before I turn off and go back into the darkness. Spielberg lived near you in New Jersey for a little bit. I just found out that my other place, the other house I lived in last, really right across the street there's another neighborhood, and that's where Tom Cruise was born. Tom Cruise. There's a lot of people from Syracuse. Yeah, you can always play this back. The good thing is we never lost sound, right? Sound was always there, and I was trying to, as soon as the video goes out, it's just I'm just a radio host, And then when the video comes back, it's like, oh, we can watch the radio host. Just think of it that way. You got to tell me what those movies are again, but I was watching that 2067. And I was also watching... Wait, what was the other one I watched? I've already seen Predestination. I can't remember. I can't remember. I was looking for a movie to watch the other night too. Actually, last night. What did I end up watching? See? I've got a great memory, but my short-term memory is like what? I started watching. Oh, I started watching that show From. Looks like it's pretty cool. I don't like it. I'm like 5 or 6 episodes in, and I'm like, this is just. I don't know if anybody's seen it. Maybe it gets better, but I'm ready to. I don't like when I start something. I like to finish it, but this show I just can't get into. And it seems like a really cool concept, but it's just like, oh, I can't. It's just boring. I started watching The Twilight Zone, the new one, Jordan Peele. I've never seen it, so I started watching that last night. I watched 2 episodes. I do not believe that Indy's hearing is improving. He can hear a little bit, but sometimes I think he's ignoring me. Sometimes I don't know. But I know he can't hear like he used to, because if he's over there sleeping and I get up and I walk by him, he won't even get up. Normally a dog will hear you and get up, and he's always been able to hear me and get up. So he can only hear if I'm yelling loud, which I don't like to do, because I'm out there at night and I'm like, Andy, get back here, and I got neighbors. Or if I clap my hands, he can hear me. He's been having a lot of trouble walking because he is getting older, and I started giving him some chondroitin, some vegan glucosamine pills, and I was giving him 1 a day, and now I'm giving him 2 a day. And he was at the point where when he went to eat his food, his back legs started giving out. So his back legs were like basically just like he was almost like giving out. And I don't know why he just didn't try to sit down while he ate or whatever, but he wouldn't try to do that. He's just sitting there, struggling to eat while his feet are giving out. And I noticed that they're not doing that anymore. So he's able to stand, steadfast as he's eating. So I'm hoping that the glucosamine is something for joints for dogs. So that definitely seems to be improving, and he seems to be walking better now. So it did. I wasn't sure if it was working at first, but I've been giving it to him for about a month, and at first I was like, this isn't even working. But it does seem to be working now. So, because I don't know what else is, allowing him to do that. So he's getting his strength back in his rear legs. He's 12 and a half. So no, it's not quite like the old Twilight Zone. I love the old Twilight Zone. A lot of the, because that's another one that we're talking about. Rod Serling is from Syracuse, New York. Born here December 25th, Christmas Day. And he died in Rochester. A lot of the Twilight Zones, if you listen, are from Syracuse. They talk about Syracuse. They talk about Binghamton, Albany, and Ithaca. And every time I hear one of those, I'm like, my ears just peak up. I'm like, oh, they just said Syracuse. I haven't tried rosehip. Glucosamine does not do what it's supposed to do. Well, I don't know what else would be helping him, because he seems to be getting his strength back. And I haven't done anything else differently. Oh, Graven, I'm sorry about that. I started watching Manifest. It sounded like it was going to be cool, but then I kind of got bored of it as well. Like, I want something that I'm just like, I just want to keep watching. But I don't know. There was something else. What else did I watch? Well, I've been actively editing, finally been able to start doing the actual edit for the movie. So hopefully that gets done and we can all watch that movie. I forget what it's called though. A34, A20, A10, A44. I think that's what I called it. Like, I so badly want to pull it up and show you guys a clip right now, but I probably should not do that. Has anybody tried the new smoked tofutti cream cheese? It's like, it's really good. It's got a nice texture to it too. It's like lox, and it's got like almost like a salty bacony taste. Vegan, of course. Well, we got one comment that says you should show us, we won't tell, and the next one says don't spoil the movie. I mean, that's a pretty ripe age for a dog. Already, Indy is older than the average lifespan of a German Shepherd. German Shepherd lifespan, the last I looked up, it's like between 9 and 12 years old, and Indy is 12 and a half right now. So I'm just hoping for like another 12 and a half. No, it's vegan glucosamine. And I give them turmeric and different things that I put in his food. I make their food. I also give them a kibble from Wild Earth, but I make their food now. I also got, well, maybe I shouldn't say what I got. My brother brought this snack that I've been wanting to try back from Germany, so I'll probably just do a quick little video on it. Can't do it on this channel. I got to do it on the main channel. Dog aspirin? No. I've had somebody, the guy that printed the shirts for the movie recommended Galliprant. So, except for it's wicked expensive, and my insurance doesn't cover it. Is it a Kit Kat? I bet it's a Kit Kat. I can't tell you if it's a Kit Kat. I'm just trying to get monetized in this channel again, you know? I mean, it sucks. They play ads on my videos and it goes straight to them. It's like, why can't there be no ads on my videos? Just none. If it's not monetized, then no ads. That's what I say. Can you guys see my dog? He's right there. Try not to say anything so he doesn't jump up and knock these cords over. Anyway, I don't know. I told you guys a story about the ET and probably... What is this? We don't look at these anymore. These are old pictures. We got all digital pictures now. Oh, that's funny. That's a real picture of me when I graduated from high school. I hated pictures of myself, so my parents were like, come on, Chris, just get one picture. So there I am with my diploma and my award. The red one is an award because I never missed a day of school. The entire high school, never missed a day. And let's see what we got here. 6th grade. 6th grade, me. And what's this? And that I think is 5th grade. 5th grade, 6th grade, 1986 and 1987. 86 and 87. And 2023. There's my cake. There's my congratulations, you graduated from high school cake. Wow. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. You know, the crazier thing is, that's when I graduated high school. And I wasn't even vegan then. That cake wasn't even vegan. And yet, I've been vegan for 29 years. That makes me feel pretty old. I went vegan 3 months after that picture was taken. Did somebody say Tofuti cuties? Yep. It was another time, another place. Did YouTube make me come more outgoing? Yes. Did YouTube make me become more outgoing? Yes. More outgoing. At least in front of the camera. At least in front of crowds. And basically it gave me more confidence, I guess. I used to be really shy, and I'm not shy even a little bit anymore. Not even a little bit. And I never used to stand up for myself when I was younger either, but I never not stand up for myself now. I'm like a totally different person. So that person that I just showed you when I graduated, if you met him, you'd be like, wow, this does not seem like you at all. Because it really wasn't. I'm totally different now than I was back then. Do I look like more like my mom or my dad? I don't know. I mean, people tell me different things, but for some reason, it's probably because I am me and they're them. Like, I don't see it. So, I think I look a little bit I see the resemblance in my dad's mom, my grandma maybe, and my eyes. My nose would probably be more of my mom's. But my brother, my youngest brother, looks like my mom's father. A lot. Yeah, people say I look like my dad. We got Indy over there sniffing like an Inspector Gadget. Yeah, the dogs. We go outside, walk around the property several times a day. I feed him twice a day, and he gets those pills. And yeah, he's a good pup. He's a good pup. I sound like my dad sometimes. Well, my dad's the only one like me as far as like the nostalgia goes in the family. Like the rest of them couldn't care less. Oh yeah, I saw E.T. Yeah, I remember. I'm like, wasn't it awesome? Yeah, but like me and my dad, like he's like he preserves the history, and he's like, Chris, like I just want you to have all this history of like all of our family tree, and nobody else even knows, nobody else really cares. I don't think they don't seem like they care. Yeah. So me and my dad are alike in that respect. Thanks, Gomez. An IMDb account. Well, I'm actually on IMDb, but we need to start plugging in all the information for the movie on IMDb. I don't have an official account. I think you need like a paid account in order to like do that stuff, from what I've been told, unless it's changed. You just watched ET on Tubi? Well, they had it on Netflix. They probably took it off now, but it was on Netflix for free as well. And I have the VHS over there. And I have a VCR right there. But I think they would shut me down if I streamed it. The music alone. And that FBI warning, right? We were all afraid of that. Yeah, if you guys can see ET and you've never seen it, hold on. I would recommend watching the original version, not the CGI version. Because they have some new scenes in there that they just don't, like, just because you can do CGI doesn't mean you should do CGI in all cases, Sometimes it's great to have it for little things, but something like that where like, oh, I think they did a perfect job on E.T. how it was. They never needed to make you be able to see E.T. jumping around and all that. Like, that's... And I don't like how... George Lucas did that with all of his Star Wars as well, Tried to trade every... Han definitely shot first. No doubt about it. Like, if you say otherwise, you're in a Mandela effect. Han shot Guido first. He's like, well, Guido, I don't have it with me. Yeah, I bet you do. And then he shot him. And then he's like, wait a minute, we can't have Han just shooting people like that. That's bad. Well, he did it. Guido was going to take him to Jabba the Hutt. Put him in carbonite. The one that I will bet my life on for the Mandela effect is the Bernstein Bears. Now all of a sudden they're the Berenstain Bears, and no, they were always the Bernstein Bears, always. But it's changed. How long have we been on? An hour and 15? That's it? I feel like we've been over 2 hours. The bears, the gummy bears, bouncing here and there and everywhere. George Lucas did ruin Star Wars. He did. He did. Those first three were perfect. What happened? All right, somebody recommend a movie. If I had to watch one movie, like something new out there. Let's see. I have access. Well, I have Prime. I have Netflix. I have access to Hulu, and I have Disney. So go ahead. Tell me what I should watch. Mike, I know. I would really wish we could watch the originals. The ruby red slippers were under her bed when she goes back home. I don't think I ever remember that. I got totally Wizard of Oz out because I grew up in Chittenango, which is the home place of L. Frank Baum. We literally have yellow brick sidewalks. I don't have Max anymore. What are my thoughts on the prequels? The second set? Um, there were some scenes that I really liked, but I think they overdid it with a little bit too much CGI going on with those wars. But I really like the concept. I'll tell you one thing: George Lucas can put together a fight scene because he did it in Return of the Jedi, and he did it in I don't even remember the name of it, but anyway, yeah, the newer ones, like I just never really like the scene where Obi-Wan is fighting to go save Qui-Gon from Darth Maul and the red beams keep coming down. That was an amazing fight scene. But they kept interrupting it with Jar Jar stuff. And it was like, come on, I just want to see that scene. But how that happened, I think, was really intense. And I think that was really good. Other than that, like, I didn't really care for most of them. I think it was The Force Awakens was the first that I was like kind of okay with, but then I didn't like what they did at the end. I don't want to give spoilers away, but so just I guess plug your ears. What they did, what they did to one of our, like, especially somebody like me, like somebody that is as old as I am, if you guys are as old as me or older and you grew up with Star Wars, and like Luke Skywalker was somebody that you always thought of as like, you know, a hero for all these years, and then all of a sudden they did what they did with Luke Skywalker and his, you know, like the way they got rid of him, and it was horrible. It's like, what, you just basically said screw you to every 40 or 50-year-old Star Wars fan, you know? So they should have just kept the first three. Yeah, I finished The Mandalorian. That end scene of Mandalorian kind of brought it all together. That was a really good episode. I was starting to lose interest in it. The Endless is a good movie. The Endless. Did I see Nope? I actually just watched Nope a couple weeks ago. And I gotta say, I really liked it up until the last quarter, and then I didn't like it anymore. I just didn't like the concept of what it was. I think when we thought what it was what most people would think it was at the beginning, that story would have, if they kept playing that out, it would have been way better. But yeah. Return to Oz. I got Oz'd out. Like I said, I grew up in a Oz themed town, and I just never wanted anything more to do with the Wizard of Oz. I mean, how many people can say they had the original Munchkins in their dining room, just chilling in their dining room? Because I had that happen. That happened for me. Renfield. You know, I wanted to watch Interview with the Vampire, the TV series, but where is it even? I haven't seen that. The Endless is what is Endless on? What Next Exit on Hulu? I feel like I saw Next Exit. Did I see that? So I got to look for The Endless. I don't know what it's on. Prime. Okay, I got Prime. Optimus Prime. The Transformers the movie was a good movie, guys. 1985. What We Do in the Shadows. That's a series, though. What's a good movie? Freaks. I've been looking at Synchronic. Is it good? Synchronic. What We Do in the Shadows. Okay, yeah, maybe I was getting that mixed up with something else. Vampires, right? I thought that was a. Wait, I thought that was a series. It's not? The series is based off the movie. Oh, okay. Do I have a skincare routine? Nope. I just try to keep my skin, not like Freddy Krueger. I bought this. It's what is it? Rose water and glycerin, and I spray that on my face, and that's about all I do. It's refreshing, and let me see if I can find the one that I get. Let me find that for you, because somebody else asked me the same question. Oh, here it is right here. Somebody else asked me the same question when I was in California, and I was like, no, I don't really do anything except for this is what, and she wanted to know what the stuff was. So I'm like, okay, here it is. And it's on Amazon, so if you buy this, I'll get a couple pennies. I will make a couple pennies. So here it is. Ready? Bam. Boom. Rose water and glycerin. Vegan and cruelty free. It's only $10. And when it gets low, I just put a little bit of water in it and then shake it up, and it's even, I make it go forever. Coherence is parallel universe. I like that. Wait, Coherence. I might have started watching that. I gotta see. Coherence. I never wash my face. That is correct. No, I wash my face. With hand soap. For a while I had that Mad Hippie stuff, which was like this vitamin C serum and stuff, but like I don't actively use that or anything. And I had something from Lush called Skin Drink, and I would put it on my face, and it would make my skin feel good and stuff, but it would instantly, I mean, my face is already pretty red, but it would instantly make my face turn red, like as I put it on. How is my company doing? How is my company? Who's my company? Oh, how's my company doing? My company. The castor oil. Oh, I have castor oil too. But I use that for, if you guys watched the last video I did with my hair loss, I was using like this black Jamaican castor oil. Rubbing it in your hands with a little bit of whatever this is. Lavender and I think, what was it? Anyway, something, what else? Eucalyptus or, what was it? It was rosemary. And just kind of like massaging in your scalp. The Pacifica brand face wash. Are you guys saying that I need to wash my face? My face looks a lot redder on camera than it does in real life, believe me. My company, my movie. Well, my movie is just, yeah, that's just, I'm just editing it along, you know? Yeah, every time I get another few minutes of the movie done, it's just like you watching it and seeing it come together. It just gets me really excited. But it's still going to take a long time because I also got to edit the sound. Unfortunately, the sound is so far pretty not good. So I have to do some edits there. Alternate reality versions of you. I mean, I probably, yeah, I have sensitive skin. Like I had freckles as a kid, and I burn in the sun pretty easily. I'm Irish. My dad has had skin cancer for a very long time now, so most of my life. So I try not to be in the sun for long periods of time and get sunburn. I mean, I love ET, but I don't want to look like him. I've got a dog behind me. Yeah. I don't know. Mary's Monster. I like space movies too if they're like Alien. My problem is trying to find something that I really liked. What did I watch? Like, I just put something on. It ended up being pretty good. What the heck was it? I can't remember the short term. Mainly because I'm working on this most of the time, and then when I say working on this, I mean my movie here. I did watch Idiocracy the other night, but there was something else that I watched probably a week ago. 23 movies in 11 days. Wow. So about 2 movies a day. 2 movies a day. That's cool. You are gonna have to take notes to see which ones were which. You know. I think I just froze again. We're freezing over here on a nice Sunday night. The camera just likes to just shut off sometimes. It's like, you know what? If anybody is coming to this live stream right now, we're going to make them think that nobody's here. Okay. Still not working. Okay. What I really want to do is just take the camera and throw it across the room, but, you know, everybody's watching right now, so I got to be nice and calm. And there we are. Are we back? Okay, hi. We're here. This is great. Do I like to read? Well, I'm reading the chat right now. Yeah, I haven't really sat down and read a book in a very long time. I've always been more of a visual person. As far as reading goes, I read a lot online and stuff, but actually on a book, no, I haven't done that in a very long time. The Endless is about a UFO death cult. Okay. It's exhausting, but you do it every year. Maybe someday we can show my movie over there. I don't know. Oh, we did it again, guys. All right, you know what? This one's reliable. The crappy one's reliable. But I'm looking forward to watching my movie too when it's done. Hopefully a lot of people get to see it. Oh, you have? Well, that's amazing. That would be great. I don't know when my film's going to be ready. Ideally, I wanted it to be ready this fall, but I don't know if that's possible. It's taken a long time. For example, I've already probably for on an average of every 8 hours I'm editing, I'm getting about a minute worth of movie. I'm doing the edit myself, and I've been editing in some capacity now for 30 years, so I know how to edit, and I'm doing the best I can with what we have to make the movie the best it can be. So right now we have, we got a nice little beginning scene. Oh, did we come back over there? It's trying to come back. Doesn't know if it wants to come back. It's like, well, now I miss you guys. I want to come back. Nope. Always bring your backup camera. My dog's whining too, so I probably better get going. No, I don't. I wouldn't get help for the edit from people on Fiverr. This is something that I need to do. Nobody knows it the way I do, and it has to be a certain way. So I'm more than capable of doing it. The only problem is I'm doing all this work for free. So not getting paid, not being able to pay the bills kind of sucks. But hopefully something good happens with it. So yes, Mike, I don't think anybody truly knows how much time and effort I've put into this movie from the beginning to the end, because the beginning is the beginning of the Vegan Zombie. That was the first write of the script. And then the Kickstarter in 2018, and then several rewrites of the script, and then all of pre-production, and then all of production, and now post-production. It's crazy. And everything in between that went wrong. I know we could do a documentary on the behind the scenes, the making of the movie, the making of how the movie almost wasn't. But I'm happy with the progress because, once upon a time, all I had was an idea, and then I had a script, and then I had the funding through the Kickstarter, and then we kind of were like dead in the water for a while. Nobody to find to be able to work on this with me, and then the world shut down, and now we got to a point where we were able to finally film the movie. So, we have a movie. I have it right here in front of me. All the footage. It took me over a month to sync all of the audio. And I just finished that recently, and I started the edit. Just so people know what's going on. The syncing of the audio took a very, 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 very long time because there's thousands of files. And for those of you that know film, for those of you that don't, you probably don't understand what I'm about to say. But the people that do understand, there was a breakdown where there was no scratch audio, no time code, no scratch audio. So that means I'm guessing what audio clips go to which video clips, and I'm just got to try to figure out where they line up with literally thousands of clips. So as you can understand, it took me a very long time to get that. And that was one of the things that hindered the progress of the post-production, because just thinking about doing that is just, it makes me just want to quit. Really, it did. But I struggled through it, and I got through it, and I just went full metal jacket, full pedal to the metal the last few weeks, and I just got day after day after day after day done. And I have a friend of mine that lives down in the DC area, and he helped me sync, I think 4 or 5 days he helped me with in his free time. So between him and me, we put this audio sync together, and now I have what I need to do. So Hey AJ, how's it going? You're here just in time for us to get ready to close down the stream. It's going to make an interesting Q&A when you... Oh my God, I'm not looking forward to any of the Q&A, to be honest with you. It says there's only 28 people watching. Well, this is my second channel. This isn't the main channel. So maybe. If you guys are just joining us and you want to hear about the ET stuff, you got to rewind it, because we talked a lot of ET. Funny bloopers. I don't think we have any funny bloopers. Chris, stop telling the truth. You gotta just make stuff up. I'm incapable of not telling the truth. Yeah, I could do Q&A. I just I'd be afraid to do Q&A, to be honest. The initiation, the invitation. I think that was something that I was going to watch the other night. I don't think I saw it. Yeah, I'm sure I could come up with something. Like, ready? Let's try a mock trial right now. Ready? Q&A. Let's see how it would go. All right. Hey, guys. I'm the director and creator of A44. I'm glad you guys were able to see it. I don't know if you liked it, so I can't say you enjoyed it, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And that was our independent film that we put together through all of our blood and sweat. And was there any blood? Yeah, there was blood. Yeah, oh my God, I almost told you a story. I can't tell you a story because I can't give it away. All right, here we go. Ready? Go. Mock trial. Look at that. Look at the nice background I have here. It's like a nice green broken TV kind of thing. It's like I worked hard to get that. Like I really made it in Photoshop. The lines, it's just some like Art Deco. Why did I make it about being vegan? About being vegan. Did you already watch the movie? Do you know that it's about being vegan? Linda, did you know that? This is my way of promoting veganism, you know? I never wanted to be that person going directly up to somebody and shoving it down their throat like that, because that usually backfires and doesn't work, and then you make enemies and that. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to make something fun and entertaining that also told the vegan message. So I could get the masses to come in and think about being vegan and then say, oh yeah, I can do this. And then boom, created another vegan. On to the next one. So I wanted to make something cool like that. So let's assume you've seen it. Right. Did you like that part in the movie where that amazing scene came on and everybody was like just so elated, and then they cried, and then they were like, oh my God, and then they were like that scene. All the food that we served to the cast and crew was all vegan. That is true. Now, were there some cast members that decided to go off and get their own non-vegan food? Absolutely. Absolutely. They did. What's my favorite memory from filming the movie? That would probably be when it was all done, when it was over with, everything was over with, and I woke up and I'm like, oh my God, I don't have to do anything today. I'm going to lay on the couch. That was my favorite time. I cast my dad in the movie. And my favorite point in the movie was when I woke up the next morning and I let him crash at the house. And he got up before I did and he left. But when I got up, I went out in the kitchen and there was a paper plate. And on the back of it, it said, Chris, thank you for having me be part of your dream. Love, Dad. That was probably my favorite part. What was it like to work with Indy? Was Indy in the movie? I don't know. I wish. But I don't know. If only Indy was in the movie, that would have been a good movie if Indy was in it. Would I ever make a sequel? I already have a sequel ready. So hopefully the movie does well. So somebody's like, hey, we want to give you $100 billion to do sequel 2. Because really we had such a low budget. We had no money. We had so little money to do this movie. It would be nice to actually have like an okay budget. I'm not talking about Hollywood budget. I mean, but if we had more money than we had in this, that would be sweet. And I wouldn't have to do the job of 10 people. Share what story? Indie. So yeah, I would love to make a sequel for this because there actually has to be a sequel or else you don't get the full story. The story of my dad. My dad's in the movie, okay? So oh my god, is that Parth Patel? Patel. It is. It is Chris Cooney. You know? It's nice to see you. If you've been with us this whole time, then you know why the screen looks the way it looks. And it's okay. It's okay to look like this because you've been through the journey with me tonight. But if not, you're probably wondering, why does your screen look like that, Chris? Yeah, I'm sure everything will be fun and everything when it's all done. Yeah. I want to say something about it so bad, but maybe I'll wait for another time, and I won't be doing it on this channel. I'll do it on another channel. Is it an 80s vibe screen? I wanted it to be, but we didn't have the budget for that. Originally, it should have been, but it's not. It's modern day. I know you guys want to hear it. I'm seriously excited about this, but like I feel like it's been so long since the Kickstarter that I feel like we've lost the interest of a lot of people, which, you know, I understand because it's been so long. You know, I feel like a lot of people have that mentality now where like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it, you know? But yeah, I'm still working hard on it. I'm trying. I want it I want this to be done as much as you guys do. And again, every time I edit like a new scene, I go over and I rewatch and I rewatch and I'm like, oh my God, it's, like, but it's like I have got so much more to do that it's going to be a little while. And then, so the process is, once I get the rough edit done and then, fine tune it so it looks pleasing. And then I do the color grade and everything. But then I got to get in there and edit the audio. So there's definitely things that I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to go back out there in the field with an audio recorder and get some, room tone and different sounds of, just stuff to put in the movie that that I don't have. Well, I'm trying to put a few different people in there that you guys some of you guys would recognize, but unfortunately, when it came down to it, like there's a lot of people that, just we had to fill the roles, and I mean, not really unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately. So originally I wanted like an all vegan cast, and then I quickly realized that was like impossible, that it wasn't happening. One of the actors that replied and auditioned, well, here's how I found it out. This isn't like normal for people to do, but for what I was doing, I asked this anyway. I said, look, the one thing what we ask, and like I understand, you might not be vegan, but this is a vegan based movie, and this is made possible by a Kickstarter for, that was a vegan themed movie. So a lot of vegans put their money together to fund this movie. And the one thing that I got to ask is, if we cast you, are you okay with having all vegan food on there? Like, we're asking you not to bring any non-vegan food on set, and we will have food catered for you. It will be all vegan, and we'll have different foods for you guys to choose from, which we always did. We always had a variety of different foods and snacks and stuff like that. So, everybody would have something. And everybody said yes to that. Everybody that agreed to do the movie said yes to that. And one of the actresses that I talked to, after I asked her if she was okay with, eating all vegan, she goes, "Oh yeah, I'd be more than that'd be awesome. Actually, I thought I wasn't going to have anything to eat because I'm a vegan myself." And I was like, "Oh wow, that's amazing." So yeah, I didn't expect that. So there are a few vegans in the movie, but then there's just other people that applied, and that you guys would not know who they were or anything. And then I have kind of a pretty, I won't say any names, and if anybody does know, don't say it, please. But there is like a very well-known vegan in it, for a quick scene. And then there's one other one that I still, this is something that I can get at any time. Like, I can still edit the movie and still wait to get there's one more scene that needs to be filmed from somebody. So once I get that, the whole thing will come together in entirety. It's a very quick scene, so I'm not worried about it. But everything else is done, and that'll be in there. And if I never got the scene, I could still put it together. But it'd be nice to get it. So, and that's another vegan that most of you would probably know who they were. Can you guess who it is? You can guess, but I'm not going to confirm yes or no. And I know that I haven't announced it or anything, but I think there's a couple of you that I've never said it, but there's a couple of you that might already know. So please don't say anything. Is Kristen in it? Who's Kristen? Kristen. You guys are all betting you know who. Well, I'm not going to say it. You guys are going to have to watch the movie when it comes out. And then when you know, you'll know. And then we can... Oh, no, she's not in it. My roommate. I don't have a roommate. I live alone. Well, technically, I live with a couple pups. Indian Zeke. What time is it? Ooh. It's almost tomorrow. You know, that's the thing. It's almost tomorrow. And when you get to tomorrow and you're there, you're still at today. But not yesterday, but today. But tomorrow, today. So you're never at tomorrow. You're always at today. It's just weird how that happens. There are a bunch of people that donated to the Kickstarter that were able to come over here and be in it. And we had one person come all the way from Italy to be in this. So I gave them a line. I'm like, you know what? You came from Italy. I'm giving you a line. And I can tell you this. This isn't really giving anything away, but we were doing a scene at this... I'm just going to be real ambiguous. We were doing a scene at this location. And this guy pulls up to us and he's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, we're making a movie and everything. And he's like, oh, really? Where about? And like, you know, like I was like, yeah, we're filming most of it out in like Syracuse. But we were kind of like out in the boonies here. And he's like, well, could you use like a 56 Mustang or something? I think that was maybe 57. I don't know. Mustang. And I'm like, he's like, I could, you know, I work in Syracuse. I could just drive it off at a location for you and drop it, give you the keys for the day. And I'm like, really? So we got to use some like fancy old car at this location. And, yeah, it just like upped the production quality a little bit because that was pretty cool. And then we had another, so this is another thing. I can say this. So Laser, for those of you that know Laser helped me with so much. In fact, Laser, he's been a friend of mine for probably 8 or 9 years. And he would always ask me about, oh, how's the movie coming? I'm like, oh, we're going to be shooting. He goes, well, let me know if there's anything I can do. And I'm like, I don't know I don't know what I can, have him do or anything. But it turns out I'm like, well, maybe you can help with this. And like, he's like, well, I can do this, 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 and this. And he like was a lifesaver. He did so much. If it wasn't for him, him and Sam did, like he fixed everything. He built sets. If I needed emergency stuff, he'd go and get it. Like, I mean, he did so much. And Sam did all of the, like makeup, special effects, practical effects, that kind of stuff. So I was like, wow, oh my God. Anyway, forgot what I was going to say. What was my main point here? I'm like going into like all this. There was something else so we were literally picking up, we had to go for pre-production. We had to get so much things for the set, like, okay, we have a living room scene. We need a table. We need a big table. We need a hutch and a counter and like all these different things that would go in a living room. We needed rugs. We need to make, we did all this stuff. So we were looking on like Marketplace for free or really cheap things that people were either throwing out or getting rid of. We found a sofa chair on the side of a road that looked pretty cool. Just got out of the car, threw it in the back of the truck, used it. A lot of stuff like that. We got a lot of free stuff, but we had to buy some of the stuff, and we got a nice like cabinet, like hutch cabinet for like, like that would go in the living room. And when we got there, the lady sold it to us for really cheap. And then she, we mentioned that we bought this for a movie. She goes, "Oh, you bought it for a movie?" And her son was there, and he's like, "Oh, cool." And I'm like, "You want to be in a movie? You want to be a zombie or something?" He's like, "Yeah, actually." He's like, "Could I bring my truck?" And he's got like a 1946 truck that his dad had, and his dad passed away and gave it to him. And he said, "Well, that would mean a lot if I could have that in the movie too." And I'm like, "Oh my God, that'd be awesome." So he's got this amazing truck with a tractor in the back of it from 1946. And he was the first one there at that set the day that we needed him. And so yeah, that's how we got some of the people in it. And that was because we bought a cabinet from his mom. So yeah, we met people along the way, and yeah. Tomorrow is still today. Yep. Yep. It'll always be today. It'll never be yesterday. And it'll never be tomorrow. It will be tomorrow, but when it hits tomorrow, it'll be today. Yeah, because I'm getting excited now because I'm telling you some of the things that we did. I'm trying to like think of things that I can talk about without giving anything away. Um, yep. There was another one too because I wanted like the main vehicle to be like Laser's like, "Well, you can use my truck," and I'm like, "No," because like the last I saw, he had like a 2010 truck, and I'm like, I might have to use it because I needed a truck for this, but I really wanted like an older truck, like an 80s or something. He goes, "Well, I have like a 1982 pickup," and I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Let me see a picture of it," and I'm like, "Oh my God, are you serious?" And that's what we used. We used all of his cars actually. We used his Tesla, and we also used his. He got a Pontiac for like $200, like a really old '80s Pontiac that was just a crappy car. So we used all of his cars. I could write a book. What would be easy if I took the movie. Obviously, we weren't able to make everything the way it was up in my head just because we didn't have the budget to do it. But we compromised and we did what we could. And I think people have to understand that like this isn't going to be a Hollywood movie. This is like an independent movie, and we did the best we could with what we had. So, I mean, we tried, so, and it was the first movie that I've actually truly directed and done. And I've already learned, if I was to do this again, things that I would do differently, things that I would do better. Like I've already learned to be like a better director. But yeah, we just used what we could get. Oh, and another thing that they did, Sam made all these fake license plates for the cars. And she made these really cool menus. And I was thinking about maybe auction them off or doing a giveaway or do something like that from the movie. Because I kept a lot of the stuff from the movie. Obviously, we got rid of a lot of the stuff. But I still have some, like, I still have a lot of the wardrobes and different things from the movie. So who knows if this movie becomes like a cult classic or becomes something big. Then, I've got all these like little souvenirs and stuff that I don't know. Like you never know. I mean, this is, I believe, the first pro-vegan feature horror movie that that's not a documentary. So, I mean, unless somebody beats me to it, this, this is a horror movie. It's a horror movie. There's going to be, I wouldn't really say it. I mean, I don't think it's scary, but there's a little bit of gore, and I wrestled with the fact of, doing like, I wanted as many people to be able to see this as possible. And I was going to make it so there was like no swearing, but then there were just scenes that we just needed a little bit of swearing. And then I was like, all right, there's swearing in it. And, when I look back to when I was a kid, there was a lot of movies that were rated R that I wasn't old enough to watch, that I should never have watched, but I watched them. And they became some of my favorite movies, Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th and, some of those horror movies that I watched as a kid that were rated R, and I still watch The Lost Boys, a lot of gore. There was something else that I was going to say that I kind of forgot. Well, I guess not. I guess when I say not like really Hollywood, but I'm just afraid there's going to be some, cheesy parts, like, I mean, I don't know. And then there's going to be some parts that like the continuity is going to be off and there's really nothing I can do. Like, I know. But well, I mean, one of the biggest ones like that would be Night of the Living Dead. I mean, they put barely any money together in 1967, filmed the movie, released it in 68. Boring. Yeah, there's swearing in it, but some of them were just going a little bit overboard. I'm like, let's do that scene again with a little less F's and a little less, like, so. And what zombie apocalypse would you not swear? Exactly. But I just didn't want to use like just over F-bombs just to fill in for dialogue because From Beyond. I don't know if I saw that movie. They're coming to get you, Barbara. Yeah, I think we got just enough. There's just enough swearing. So what was I talking about though? Because there was a point that I was trying to say, that I was trying to get to, and then I just went off on too many tangents. Oh, drats. I got bit by a zombie again. Come on. No. I'm excited. I'm excited because I know the whole movie. I just I just can't wait for it to be like, hey guys, we're gonna watch A44 now. Yeah, you are watching me on my side camera. Yo. Hey guys. It's become my main camera. Because my Sony camera is not cooperating tonight. That's alright though, we got an extra camera. Exactly. Way less swearing than a Tarantino film. Like Four Rooms, there was a lot of F's. Yeah. Wait, what? I should get a ham radio? So what? I didn't read it fast enough. What are you doing? I got two dogs over here. You guys probably can't see because we're on the dark camera. Everything's all dreary. What are you doing? What are you doing? That's Indy the pup. Come on, you're gonna knock stuff over. Go. Oh, we might have one for the movie. And I might have one. You know, wait, no, I have that other radio, like not one where I can talk, but we do have one of those radios out that we used in as a prop for the movie. Yes, yes. And you can we did a video on it where, you know, John and his mom's in it, and this is like 10, 11, 12 years ago in the Vegan Zombie, and it's like it's a snowstorm. I forgot what we named it, but Snowstorm Apocalypse or something. And you know, John's mom is a zombie and he kills her, and like he grabs the radio and takes off in the snow. That was pretty fun. You're a ham radio operator. Yeah, that was a nice one. Anyway, I'm still like trying to remember what I was gonna say because I had like a story about the movie behind it. Without giving anything away, I'm just talking about like the behind the scenes and what we did. But I think most of you guys seen some of the screenshots that I posted of the movie. There's a lot of really cool screenshots we have. If you're not already and you're on Instagram, follow A44 movie because that's where I'm posting all that stuff. Oh, it's coming back now. It's all coming back to me. What is that? Is a groovy kind of background back there. And maybe we'll talk again about movie stuff. I want to start talking more about it as I start getting further in the edit. Yeah, that is pretty trippy, isn't it? We got the greens and the purples, and that's totally me. Well, I don't know what else to say for tonight, so I guess I'm gonna go take the dogs out and maybe make them some dinner. It's already tomorrow. It's today, so pretty late stream tonight compared to the other ones. This is normal time for me, so yeah. Thanks for watching, and if you guys are interested in the ET story, just rewind the video later. And if you want to watch the other one, Linda tagged it up at top, so maybe save that in your browser for another day. It's about 2 hours long, but that's right, Graven. That was one of the screenshots. That's it. So have a great night, and I'll see you guys next time.